Alright guys, homework 5.5. So let's see what we got here. The will. The family of Mr. I am rich, an eccentric millionaire. What does eccentric mean, guys? Eccentric means out of the ordinary. Out of the ordinary. So this out of the ordinary millionaire is gathered, or the family is gathered in his lawyer's office for the reading of his will. The lawyer reads the following. I am rich, distribute my fortune as follows in this order. He gives $5 million to his best friend Sam, who is his dog. Well, he'll buy lots of bones. Then you're going to give half of what's left, or the remainder, to my high school algebra teacher. Because of her, I learned the math I needed to make my fortune. You guys need to remember that. Then I give $5 million away. Then I give half of whatever's left away. Then whatever left after that, I'm going to give $50 million away to give a new hospital. Then what's left, I'm going to give 50% to my wife, 40% to my daughter, 9% to my lawyer, and 1% to my son who has never worked a day in his life. It's time he gets started. In the what, says the son? All I get's a measly $10,000. So out of once you take away the $5 million, give away half of what's left, take away the $50 million, divvy it all up, this little 1% is going to equal $10,000. So we've got to figure out how much was I am rich's fortune to begin with. Okay, well, I'm going to use a couple different methods here. Let's try drawing a picture and doing a little bit of math while we're at it. So let's say this was the original fortune. Here's my little pot of gold. Okay, there's my original pot of gold. First, we're going to take away $5 million to his best friend, the dog. So it's a little bit smaller now. So first we're going to take away $5 million. So it's a little bit smaller now. All right, we've got to give away half. So if you split this in half, half's gone away. So basically we've subtracted $5 million, and then if we split something in half, we're dividing it into 2. Very good. So we're going to divide by 2. After that, here's my new, you guys know I can't draw. Let's say my pot's like yay big. So I've given away $5 million. I've divided what's left in half. Here's my new pot of gold. After that, he's going to give $50 million away so they can build a hospital. So let's say that our pot's getting smaller and smaller by the day, or by the subtraction, I guess. Okay, of the remaining amount, 50% goes to my wife, 40% to my daughter, 9% to my lawyer, and 1% to my son. So let's go ahead and say that this pot of gold was one big circle like this. Okay. Half, 50%, goes to his wife. 40%, which is almost all of that, right? So the only thing that should be left is, let's say, 10%. So if this is half, maybe that's 40%. So 40% goes to his daughter. 9%, so let's go ahead and draw another one. Let's say that's not close enough. So there's 9% goes to his lawyer. Those lawyers are expensive. And finally, 1% goes to the son. And that 1% was $10,000. Here's the main thing. I don't know how much was in this pot, was in this pot, was in this pot, was in this pot. And usually you guys would have to say, well, I have to know what's in here to figure out this. But now that they've given us that one little piece of information, we can figure out what was in this pot and then work backwards. So basically they're saying that $10,000 is 1% of, let's say, the pot. You guys remember that is over of equals percent over 100? Let's do that. Is over of equals percent over 100. So the 100's always here. What number is closest to is? Well, 10,000, so that number is going to go here. Of, should I put 1? Well, my percent always goes here, and they gave me the 1%, so let's go ahead and put the 1 there. The only other thing to fill in is my question mark or my X. So if we found 10% is 1% of, or I'm sorry, $10,000 is 1% of what? What is this whole pot? So if $10,000 is 1% of this, if we find what this is, we can work backwards. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. You do 100 times 10,000 divided by 1. And I'm going to go ahead and make the second video after you guys do that.